skill is going to be a it's a decade of skill. The NEP is far more international than it used to be
Yeah.
in the earlier education policies. Yeah, Germany, Ireland, Finland, Sweden, there have always been. People are talking more about these things now
Yeah.
because there was always UK, USA that to talk about. And for USA, while we are on the subject,
Yeah.
that has got some different challenges. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So that has got some different challenges. So data analytics, automation, artificial intelligence, that entire genre of studying is going to be very, very, good for the next decade at least.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to TEDucate, your go to podcast for exploring higher education like a pro. This week, we have with us the founder and director of OneStep Global, a leading education consultancy helping global universities expand across Asia. This person brings deep expertise in international student recruitment, market entry strategy, and global education trends. He's also a strong advocate for building future ready education ecosystems and aligning talent with opportunity. Let's welcome Mr. Aritra Ghoshal. Hi, Aritra. Welcome to my podcast. And thank you so much for considering my request and being on this platform. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Anvesha. And, we have known each other for a while. And so it's always a pleasure connecting back with you. And when I heard that you're doing this, any which ways that we can support this great initiative. And it's always a delight to come back and talk to you.
Thank you so much. So before we go on, Aritra, and discuss about, of course, the study abroad trends, student employability, global education, I want to start with your childhood. I want to know more about your school days. What sort of a student were you? Were you like the shy student or a curious one? I mean, what sort of experiences, early school experiences you've had, and how did they shape the work that you do today?
Um, I won't say that I was very shy.
Mm-hmm.
I was okay. I would be saying that I went to a hostel, so all my life I've been in a hostel from class 4 to class 12. So for 9 years I was in a hostel. So and in hostel, you kind of it's a very different world altogether. So to answer your question, I would say that I was not very shy, but yeah, on the side of being shy, a little quiet, and curious. I was more curious about other things like maybe sports, maybe other things apart from studying. So I would not say that I was very on the top of the rank, but I was never on the bottom of the rank also. I was always in the mid of the rank, and I went to a pretty, highly ranked school. So I was okay in studying, but not the top of the class or also not the bottom of the class. But yeah, I was more onto the quiet, shy types, let's be honest.
Okay. And with academics, how good were you with all the?
Yeah, certain programs I was pretty good, and certain programs I was pretty mm, not good.
Okay.
So I never used to like chemistry, physics, and all. I
Mm.
was good at mathematics. I was good at geography. I was good at social sciences. I was pretty good at. So that's why I never took science as a stream.
Mhm.
I took something with I didn't even study science in plus two also. So because I didn't like all those chemical reactions and stuff like that.
Okay. Were there any challenges that you faced in your school which actually inspired you to start One Step Global? Of course, we'll talk about One Step Global and what does the organization do and all of that. But were there any challenges that you faced in the school that actually inspired the work that you do today?
Anisha, it's a good question. I would say that one challenge that I can talk about, as much as I love my school, I went to Ramakrishna Mission that, people who are from the eastern part of the world or from eastern part of India, sorry, and they will know this Ramakrishna Mission chain of schools. They're very highly ranked and very good schools. But the only thing that I have always felt that there was a little bit of regimentation which never went well with me. Not that I was a rebel kid or anything, but it was certain amount of regimentation, which, always not goes when you are a budding adult or a young adult. So when we were creating this company, or when I was creating this organization, we always felt that an organization should not be with regimentation, with should be an idea, a free flow. People should come to office and feel that this is their own. And after, close to 8 years of doing One Step Global, I can say that uh, our team members don't come to the office or to a workplace which they feel regimented. They feel, that I can't discuss my ideas. I can't, let people know about how I am feeling. So that one particular challenge, I've taken a lot of good points and positive points from my school for sure. I think honesty, integrity, these are values that a Ramakrishna Mission order or a system of schools they instill in you, and I really, really am thankful for those. But of a challenge, I can say that regimentation, maybe, slightly, I have felt that.
Okay, okay. Would you like to tell our viewers more about One Step Global? What does the organization
Yeah,
do?
yeah. So sometimes, so if nobody or people who are watching, if they can't understand it, it's all
Mhm.
right. My mom doesn't understand it fully now,
Okay,
but
we'll try to. We'll try
but
to.
yeah. So I'll be very honest. So this is a market entry firm. So what happens is that um, okay, a good example is that, say, for example, all these retail brands that come to India through Reliance or through Aditya Birla, you know, they don't have their own entity in India, but they have all their shops and people working for them. But all the people are hired by Reliance. They're on Reliance payroll. Um, Quite similar, not exactly, but quite similar. The model is with international higher education. Like, the Salvatore Ferragamo or Jimmy Choo, they come through Reliance.
Mhm.
Certain universities who are more in the higher education space, foreign universities who don't want to have their own establishment in India, they hire a third party who offers resources, infrastructure, market insights, consulting, and help them in doing their actual work in India, which is
Yeah.
student mobility, partnerships, schools, engagement. So that is the best allegory that I can provide so that the viewers can understand what we do. We
Mhm.
are in South Asia, we are, in terms of number of accounts and number of people that work, we are second largest in South Asia. And there are pretty many of them, now. So we've done all right. We are a young company. And, in terms of size, we have done all right. Close to 150 people work with us now. Over 30 universities work with us. We have offices in Delhi, Gurgaon, Mumbai, Bangalore. And we have recently opened our office in Hanoi. And we have an office in Dubai also, so which has got, three, four staff members now in Dubai. So Dubai, we're handling Middle East. Hanoi, we are trying to start our Southeast Asia operations. And India and South Asia, we have our footprint in India. So this is in a nutshell what OneStep Global is.
Wow, wow. So talking about your higher education journey, Aritra, you have completed your bachelor's from Jadavpur University, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
master's in international political economics from University of Sheffield, right?
yes,
So you've
yes.
experienced both the Indian education system as well as the international education system. Would you like to talk about like the key differences between both the systems and how did they shaped your experiences?
Yeah, that's a good question. The main difference that I would say the main difference is imagination,
Okay.
lack of imagination in the Eastern way of studying.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens, and this is changing, every day we are getting more international. The national education policy talks about a lot more inclusiveness, a lot more, disciplinarian interaction. The NEP is far more international than it used to be
Yeah.
in the earlier education policies. But still, there's always a this is more Methodist, or methodical, the Eastern education system, or the Indian education system, that someone comes into the classroom, tells you, teaches you,
Yeah.
and you learn by heart, that kind. On the Western part is that it's more of a conversation. It's more about what are you finding or what are you feeling about a particular topic. or about, what is your anecdotal evidence, or you have any kind of, expression that you want to express, and have a conversation in the classroom. So I felt that was quite refreshing, when I studied in the UK. I think that was in a classroom, people can just showcase their experience and showcase their ideas. What happens that way is that when you go to work, the education system, which is kind of a little, I'm not saying that everybody is following the same, but in general, it's a little hierarchical, right? The the teacher comes in, the teacher says, and you're only allowed to speak when you are allowed to speak, that kind.
Yeah.
When we go into the work front,
Mhm.
then the teacher becomes the manager, right? The manager says,
Yeah.
the manager has a monologue, and or the whatever, the directors or vice president, whatever the fancy designations you have, okay? And that actually somehow um, kind of relents or kind of limits ideas and a free flow of ideas. Now, India is becoming a land of startups now,
Yeah. Yeah.
and which I feel that this is very good that India is,
Mhm.
which means that the ideas have started free flowing, that people are coming up with new ideas. But in the workspace, this particular thing, I felt that this main difference, apart from that, look, Indian education system is far more detailed,
Yeah.
far more, it is a solid education system. I don't have anything. But the main difference, and I'm not saying, I'm nobody to say which is good, which is bad, but
Mhm.
the difference is this, what I felt in my journey.
Okay. I've seen this, Aritra, that in the Western education system, internships play a vital role. I mean, it's quite important, and the universities they actually pay a lot of emphasis on internships. But that's not the scenario in India. Would you like to talk about the importance of internships, especially when it comes to networking and all of that?
Yeah, I think internships are, most of the, say, programs that are there in, at least for the undergraduate space in say, UK, Ireland, most of the programs will come with an internship attached with the program.
Mhm.
And you're right that they do put a lot of emphasis on real world experience. I think the main two things that, the internships kind of bring into you is that you get to see
Mhm.
what the real world looks like. It's
Mhm.
far different than your, day-to-day school life or your college life.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that your work ethics increases, you know. So you
Mhm.
kind of network with people, you understand their viewpoints, you take that in. And the second thing is the work ethics increases, because work ethics is something that in internships, most of the times the internships are like they get a lot of things on their plate,
Yeah.
right? And we all have done those internships, right? Me,
Absolutely.
you, and we've all like, I was like, oh my God, am I have a dumping yard here?
Yeah.
Today this, tomorrow this. So what happens is a mixed bag, because that's what internships, internship is not going to be, oh, you're going to given this particular responsibility only and that's it. You know,
Yeah.
if most of the Western internships, at least, they will be like, one day you are doing this, the next day you're doing something. So your work ethic becomes very solid because you are looking at, doing things on your own, um, of a lot of things that you get to learn. So I think these two things are very, very important. The main thing is the experience, though, of the real world.
Okay. Um, Talking about the degree or the academic qualifications that you have acquired, Aritra, how did that influence the work that you do today? Because why am I asking you this question is a lot of students at times they choose a particular course, maybe because of peer pressure, or maybe their family wanted them to do it, and later on that's not relevant to their work,
Yeah.
and they regret that. So how did your degree influence the work that you do today?
Oh, yeah, I don't think it has,
Okay.
I don't think. But to answer your question in a better way, and this is good, this is a good question, because students sometimes, choose a particular program on the basis of an opportunity, right? That I am going to do
Yeah.
this, then I'm
Yeah.
going to get a job like this.
Yeah.
So I have started in a market research company, then I've worked in consulting companies, then I came to media, and accidentally I landed in education or international education per se.
Hmm.
My first international education was after good 5 years of my, work life, that I didn't even know that there is this thing about international education and all. So
Mhm.
before that, those 5 years, I've worked in a management consulting firm. I worked in media house. I worked in everything was more, you know, um, what do I say? Everything was more marketing, strategy, that kind, or
Yeah.
execution, that kind, but never in international education. But to just to kind of harp on one thing that for students specifically is that you may not know what actually your degree will offer you in later part of your life. So sometimes we do these programs like say economics or international relations or politics, and that may not have anything to do with your initial part of your corporate journey or your working journey, but eventually there will be a lot of things that you will pick up from your degree.
Mm.
Like now, I work in a very international scope. None of our clients are Indian, right? They're all
Yeah.
international clients.
Yeah.
So uh, the it was a mixture of economics and IR, I can say, the degree that I did. So the degree has helped me in leaps and bounds now
Mhm.
because I can take a lot of things about how, international laws happen, how international economic systems are developed, and then I can do my job better. So it may not directly affect you in your initial days, but it does come back in your later half of your career. And there are transferable skills that you can learn from your program. But my only thing towards budding students or aspiring students is that first choose what you want to study. Don't choose that my peers are going and there are jobs in this particular country or there are jobs in India in this field. If you are not good at that particular thing, and if you don't like, you will not be good at that particular thing. And if you're not good at, you won't get a good job. Simple fundamental logic. So choose something you really, really like, and then automatically you will see that career will turn out better for you.
Mhm. That's really nice advice, Aritra. How do you think the higher education is changing today, especially for students from India? Like there has
Abroad,
been a lot of changes. You've already spoken about NEP and all of that. So how is the higher education scenario, the environment is changing today?
so, if I have to break it down in two parts, that Indian education and international education,
Mm-hmm.
Indian education is definitely coming of age,
Okay.
and there are a lot of good universities. Like I can name, Ashoka is a great university.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the known ones, the IITs and the IIMs, Ashoka is for social sciences and mostly social sciences, and they do a very good job. It's a very international university.
Mm-hmm.
Some um, UK, Australian universities are coming to India and opening their campuses, which is going to be seen and which I feel very interesting, and which we will only get to see how those shape up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the since the last 5 years, post the NEP and post a lot of new Indian institutions coming, I think there is a lot for higher education in India that students can acquire from these institutions. However, still the demand and supply is very lopsided. Demand is very high and the supply is not that high. Um, so people then choose to go and study abroad because there are loads of students who are passing out every this thing, and also they want to go and experience a different country, a different culture. Uh, International education is at a little bit of a crossroad, if that's the right word,
Yeah.
without any fault of their education system. I think international education has a handicap of the immigration policies or the geopolitics or governments changing, all these things, fiscal fluctuations. So
Yeah.
international education has a lot of variables that they have to be very, very mindful of.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Universities in the West, they're all doing their job very well.
Mm-hmm.
However, some of the big four, let's say, the big four countries, USA, UK, Canada, and Australia,
Mm-hmm.
they've all gone through certain changes, regulatory changes, immigration changes, government changes, without going into further details. And that has affected Indian students because Indian students are smart buyers. If
Yeah.
they invest, they want some kind of investment back with stay back opportunities, with favorable immigration laws, with internship opportunities as we were discussing,
Right.
employment opportunities. But I just feel that this is a crossroad. It is only going to come out stronger.
Mm-hmm.
International education um, has remained in this country and will only keep continuing to grow as I.
Right. You were talking about one of the courses that you mentioned in this particular response, Aritra, was social sciences, which is
Yeah.
quite popular at Ashoka universities. Would you like to talk about some of the other courses that are quite, popular these days and would also remain relevant for the next decade? Because a lot
Yeah,
of our
I
audience are also from tier two, tier three cities, and
sure,
most of the students are not, they don't have access to such information. So would you
sure,
like to talk about some of the popular courses?
sure. Definitely, artificial intelligence. So data analytics, automation, artificial intelligence,
Mm.
that entire genre of studying is going to be very, very, good for the next decade at least. Then you've got security, cyber forensics, these kind of programs, because the world is not a, great place right now.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
and you can see that we're having traditional war and then a cyber war,
absolutely.
alongside the
Yes,
same thing. So
yes.
security experts will be needed a lot. Cyber
Mhm.
security, cyber forensics,
Mhm.
information security, these kind of programs will be that genre again.
Mhm.
uh, then I think med tech will be very useful,
Mhm.
because the amount of technology that is there in the medical field now, that want to become a doctor, you have to equally get well versed on technology which are being used in the field of medicine. So medtech is something that we are seeing that a lot of um, this thing, fintech, because the world is all about global payments, borderless payments. So fintech is again another part that is doing well, will continue to remain for a while. So if I have to sum it up, what I'm saying is that the world is becoming very, very dependent on technology.
Yeah, right, right. Of course, technology, like you said, is taking a prominent place. But at the same time, would you like to talk about the importance of soft skills, Saritra? Because I don't think, I mean, be my guest and tell me if AI is going to replace human beings. That's not the possibility.
No,
But
no,
what's the importance of soft skills, though?
oh, huge,
Yeah,
absolutely huge. So, I think with us Indians also, we lack a little bit of the softer skills.
yeah,
We have to
absolutely.
go and get into an IIM to learn soft skills or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But, uh, but I think soft skills play a lot of, importance, because two things, Anusha, is going to happen is that artificial intelligence is great, brilliant, no problem, but
Yeah,
you cannot replace with emotional intelligence.
yeah.
And when you are sitting right across the table
Mhm.
and you are wanting to have a business conversation, you need to absolutely feel, and you need to have that emotional quotient to kind of understand what your other party wants to hear or is talking about, and that is very important. And softer skills like communication, um you know empathy towards others, emotional intelligence, then behavioral aspects of this. um Also, we keep on talking about public speaking, right? So public speaking is, either you have it or you don't, but you can always go back to your softer skills, like, am I shy?
Yeah,
Am i am i going to do something about my shyness?
yeah.
Am I going to do something about how do I overcome that stage fright?
Mm.
And then you'll automatically become a public speaker. There's nothing rocket science that we are discussing, right? you
No,
know
yeah.
and but you need to kind of understand the inhibition in yourself, and
Mm.
what is that which is keeping you and not giving the best out of your own thing. So I think, to answer your question, I completely 100% agree with you that softer skills, AI is going to replace some things. Like,
Mhm.
I just read an article that Goldman Sachs has something called Devin.
Okay.
Devin is like a coder, which is an
Mm.
artificial intelligence coder. and they can work for 24/7 and can code and code and code.
Yeah.
So will that replace human beings? I'm sure there are. Some people are going to lose jobs.
Yeah.
But then again, you have to kind of make yourself indispensable, and only way to make yourself indispensable is to
Mhm.
have softer skills.
Wow. Wow. That's a great response. Um, so we were also talking about universities. Beyond rankings, what do you think are
Hmm.
the other factors which students should actually look at while choosing a particular university?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, rankings are a good indication.
Mm-hmm.
However, that's not the only indication. Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, students should choose,
Mm-hmm.
again, going back to the point, in your initial years, choose something that you are good at,
Right.
and then or sorry, you like.
Mm-hmm.
Then keep honing your likability and you will become good at that. So for all the aspiring students, my three-stage formula is that first choose the program that you like and you feel that you can be good at. Okay. Then choose the university
Mm-hmm.
based on your program choice and their research work or their outreach, or how much emphasis that program. Like I'll tell you, like Delhi University,
Mm-hmm.
um, some colleges will be good for this, some college will be good
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Like if people will say Hansraj economics is great, Hindu's English is great, like
Yeah.
that always remains, right? So
Absolutely.
even in the West, even when you are choosing universities, there are certain universities which will be particularly, their research might be particularly strong at one particular area.
Mm-hmm.
So choose an institution who is talking more about your chosen program,
Mm-hmm.
and then choose the country which has opportunities within that same sector. Because all of our Indian students would like to want to work there or get some opportunities there. And this is how you should go out with your international education journey, at least, that choose the program, then choose the institution based on the program, and then choose the country based on opportunities that your particular program has.
Right. Any tips that you would like to give to the students, Aritra, who are actually trying to apply to any international university, especially like talk about the importance of personal statement. Um,
Yeah.
how do you approach it? How do you write a good personal statement?
Yeah, I think the personal statement should be personal, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
should not be, I was born on this date and I from that born day, come on,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you are building your CV
Mm-hmm.
or your personal statement or your resume, whatever you're building, the three things that I will want to say is that it has to have specific
Mm-hmm.
action and results. So what I mean is that let's say you have played football.
Yeah.
That's a specific.
Yeah.
Then you have played football in a school team and helped your team by scoring 3 goals in a quarterfinal. That's the action and the results. So everything that you're writing on your personal statement or on your CV or your resume should have a specific an action and what result have you arrived after taking that particular action.
Right.
So this is how you're going to write your personal statement.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go for that. I want to make it emotional. I want to make it, touching. I want to make it look. The guys who are reading, personal statements, they're done with
Yeah. Yeah.
reading, so
Yes, sir.
many of them. Yeah. So
Yeah.
make it worthwhile for them to understand who you are,
Mm-hmm.
what you have done, and what you have achieved out of what you have done.
Right. Okay. Now, coming to the study abroad trends, Paritra, we
Okay.
were discussing about the big four countries and the
Yeah.
challenges that we are facing right now. Of course, there
Yeah.
are a lot of, challenges we have been facing in the last 2 years, especially when it comes to Canada, which used to be the topmost study abroad destination, then Australia, UK, US. How are students and organization like yours adapting to those challenges? What are the strategies that you have been um, adapting or adopting recently?
First of all, I'll come to the student part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, Students should understand that universities who are based in these four countries, have not changed. They are still massive universities. Okay.
Mhm.
So if you go onto the QS rankings, which is a pretty decent, ranking body, they do publish their ranking, and just look into the QS rankings, and even the big four that we say, the four popular multiple universities are in top 200 or top 100, right? So they're
Yeah.
massive universities to choose from.
Mhm.
Um, yes, certain immigration laws may have changed, certain caps have been, implemented. In the UK, there is a talk about that reducing a little bit of the post-study work. If there's a talk, nothing has happened actually. There's a white paper.
Mhm.
So first of all, for students that I will want to actually harp on is that don't believe rumors. There are a lot of rumors going on, you know. So just to kind of tell you this UK white paper, okay?
Mhm.
The white paper is from a review that happened, a Mac review happened, then a
Mhm.
white paper has been published, and they are saying that these things can be implemented provided the government, the parliament kind of ratifies it, right?
Okay. Mhm.
So for September 2025, or even, I don't know when this will be happening, but till the time that happens, the post-study work or other things that are written there
Mhm.
are same. But students are saying, oh my God, am I going to get the 24 months of post-study work, or is it going to be 18 months? All right.
Yeah.
So first little bit of practical advice is that talk to your counselors whom you believe, your school counselors, or your, whatever study abroad counselors. Talk to university representatives who are actually authorized university representatives, and they can tell you the right piece of information. The second thing is that um, don't have to always feel that, okay, let's say Australia. Australia has put some kind of, in a very loosely used word, is a cap,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
cap on international numbers, right? But what they have also done is that nobody is talking about is that they are looking for more quality driven students. So people who are actually, and I'm pretty sure your podcast is actually being listened by, students who are genuine students,
Yeah.
who just want to go there, have a good academic. So those curbs in the immigration system that the country has gotten,
Mhm.
the end goal is to have more quality driven recruitment in that country, more quality talent, so
Mhm.
that they can fulfill certain areas, on where they're lacking their homegrown talent. So international talent can come in and take those, fulfill those jobs. Uh, they don't want, semi-skilled labor to come, you know. And
Yeah.
let me tell you this, once I won't name anybody here, but once
Mhm.
I was having a conversation with, ministry person in the foreign affairs ministry in India, and he said, we have no problems with, with people going and studying abroad. We have a problem with the semi-skilled migration.
Okay.
So all the countries who are talking about, be it Canada, be it Australia, be it UK, be it USA, they have
Mhm.
different challenges. But one underlining thing is that they are looking to get more quality students, students who are more skilled, who are
Mhm.
technically skilled, who are, other ways skilled, who are
Mhm.
going to come here and study hard, not look for a part-time job and
Yeah.
start driving a cab in Sydney. So this is what all the countries are talking, because see, they got inundated with so many Indian students coming, right? So at the end of the day, you have to give it to them that they're kind of tightening it up so that their universities and their economy actually get quality and what they are looking for. Now, that's for the students. For an organization like ourselves, we we are not going to jump ship. You know, we we've always been very good with English speaking destinations
Mhm.
like UK, Ireland,
Mhm.
Australia, New Zealand, USA,
Yeah.
and we have some like institutions like from Finland and all, but we will still back the main destinations which I've just spoken about in Australia, New Zealand, Ireland,
Yeah.
Canada, UK, US, all these destinations, and not not try to get in, that, oh, let's go to Georgia now or Kazakhstan now. Come on,
Yeah.
It's a long way.
Yeah.
Okay, we can keep talking, but it's a long way. Yeah, Germany, Ireland, Finland, Sweden, there have always been. People
Hmm.
are talking more about these things now
Yeah.
because there was always UK, USA that to talk about, right?
Right.
But Germany was always there. Germany has been receiving good number of Indian students for a long time now. Some of the top universities in the world are in Germany, right? So they have always been a major player. It's just that now it has become a little bit more because the talks
Prominent.
of the
Yeah.
other, prominent. So we are not going to, go to countries which we feel that it's not going to be worthwhile for. Maybe great countries, maybe brilliant. Some Japanese universities are great, but
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you that we have no intention to get into Japan. You know, we are pretty much, we're not going to, the main thing is for us is that we're not going to jump ship. We have been working with English speaking destinations and English speaking, modules. We will want to keep that way.
I want to stick to that. Okay.
Yeah,
I have two questions here, Rithra,
yeah,
because we have already addressed um, the United States. We haven't addressed the United States. We have addressed
no,
Australia
yeah,
and also
yeah,
the
United
United
Kingdom,
Kingdom.
yeah.
Yes. But I also want to talk about the other two destinations because they've always been, the popular
Mhm.
destinations, Canada.
Yeah,
So, when it comes to student caps, we're also struggling with a challenge with respect to this particular country, Canada. Would you want to
yes.
talk about Canada as a destination? Should students opt for Canada? Because for
Yeah,
Indians,
so
it's been the second home.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So my two bits here is that I'm not a Canadian expert, but I can tell you that the two bits here, there are not many universities in Canada. I think 38 to 40 universities are there in Canada. So
Yeah.
choose the universities first.
Okay.
Those universities are absolutely world-class universities. If you see University of Toronto or British Columbia, or even the smaller ones, let's say Alberta or Manitoba, even in certain places where you may not want to always go, but there are some good universities like UBC, U of T, um, other universities also like McMaster is good, other very good university, Ryerson. So first of all, if you are wanting to go to Canada,
Hmm.
choose the universities first.
Okay.
Then there are loads of colleges like, in and around Ontario or the state of Ontario and other places. I think stay away from ludicrous agencies, and that is why the cap is there,
Hmm.
because they have shot on their foot and they have made a massacre of a great destination. It's a great country, it's a great destination. But
Hmm.
all these unscrupulous agents from certain parts of India has
Yeah.
not done any justice to that. So
Hmm.
stay away from those agents and stay away from particularly some institutions. I can't name them, but you can do your research, who have had issues with student accommodation, with student policies, kids gone there and they don't have a place to live. They don't know when the class timings are. So again, the central part is, Danisha, is that good students go to good universities. So at least let's stick on with that for some time.
Hmm.
And if your grades are not up to the mark for those universities, try harder and
Yeah.
get good grades. They are good universities. They would want to have good students. There's no, rocket science here.
Hmm.
So, and I don't feel that, the Canadian university sector or even the better college sectors, and there's some good colleges also, you
Hmm.
know, um, they are really that bothered, about this cap. It has dipped, for sure, it has dipped,
Hmm.
but it has dipped the lowest end of the pyramid that has dipped. So, it is not too much to do with universities,
Okay.
like yeah. U of T, so let's say, in the
Hmm.
top 20, I think now,
Hmm.
University of Toronto. Harvard is actually telling their students to go to University of Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
see, this is in the news. So yeah, it's a great universities. There are loads of good universities there, So I will feel that, it's again quality driven recruitment. And for USA, while we are on the subject,
Yeah.
uh, that has got some different challenges. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
True.
So
True.
that has got some different challenges, and
Uh,
um, I don't want to go to jail.
let's not,
So
yeah, let's not,
yeah,
yeah, look
let's
at
not
the
get into
political
the
aspect, but
politics.
just, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so and the universities are also very well aware, that the challenges are there.
Yes.
Um, so I think the good part about USA is that
Mm-hmm.
it's a temporary challenge, you know.
Okay.
Uh,
That's
these things cannot continue forever, and there are no structural changes that has happened in the US. Okay, fine, you don't have visa dates because they halted the visas, and uh, they're checking the social medias and all this. And also, like certain times if you want to go to a country, and if the country is saying something, be realistic rather than being idealistic.
mm-hmm.
I would hate someone snooping into my social media, but
Mm-hmm.
then again, if you're choosing that destination and that's the mandate from the government, better follow it,
Wow.
or don't go. Don't
Absolutely.
go. Always nobody's putting a gun onto your head, right? Oh, you have to go to USA. Don't go. Stay
Yeah.
in India, go to other places. So um, the main challenge right now for the USA is that lack of dates in the visas,
Mm-hmm.
and again, that is not structural, that is more operational. So
Mm-hmm.
when I say that the destination is a temporary challenges and they should be okay very soon, so I'm pretty confident that USA will bounce back and become the number one destination as it always has been.
Yeah, yeah. You've spoken about how it's a temporary challenge, Aritra. Meanwhile, whoever, like students who want to apply abroad, would you like to talk about alternative destinations? Of course, you've spoken about few of them, but some good alternate destinations as well as good universities that you want to name?
Yeah, I would like to answer this in a little different way.
Okay.
I don't want to call these alternative destinations. I
Mm-hmm.
want to call these that destinations who are going to be good at what you are wanting to study. Let's say I'll give an example why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
So let's say you want to talk about computing or analytics or security or these kind of programs. Ireland is fantastic because
Mm-hmm.
Ireland has some top tech companies in the world,
Yeah.
and they're as their headquarters or their European headquarters or their global headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to study something in, say, automobile engineering or automotive or these kind of more heavy mechanical engineering,
Yeah.
Switzerland, Germany, they are absolutely fantastic destinations.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk about, culinary arts, fashion, then or hospitality, Swiss is good, France is good. You want to talk about, renewable energy, Norway, Finland, then other programs like say a lot of other programs are also very good in the Nordic countries. So what I would suggest students is that these so-called alternate destination is actually helping you to widen your perspective, to widen the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
So first you have been, the same way, choose your program, and then start looking at different universities of the world. So you want to do something in sustainability. We have an university called University of Reading, which is one of the top sustainability driven universities in the world, or there's a sustainable university. And their programs in sustainability are also very good and all.
Mm-hmm.
But so what has happened is these destinations like Ireland, New Zealand, Germany, Finland, Sweden, Switzerland, France, all these countries, they're all over the world, right? New
Yeah.
Zealand to an Ireland will be, I don't know, 11 hours of difference or something, or maybe more. Um, so, um, so I think the horizon has increased rather than calling them, alternative destinations. The destinations as good as any others are. So they are good in their own might.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, so all these countries will be good, New Zealand, Ireland, Germany, Switzerland, Sweden, Finland. Finland is very good, actually, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Finland has some fantastic universities, Sweden. So look into these countries, but don't look into on the basis of, I don't want to go to US, and hence
Yeah.
I'm choosing this. That will not do the,
Yeah.
will not serve the purpose.
And what are your thoughts on foreign universities setting up campuses in India?
It's interesting, but um, it's too soon, to comment on anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very positive, proposition that foreign universities are opening. Southampton, just to say a top 100 university in the world, they
Yeah.
have opened their. They've just yesterday, kind of launched their campus, or yesterday or day before yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
which is very, very um, reassuring as a destination, as a country, that India is being given so much of importance in their global maps.
Yeah.
So, but people ask that, will it be successful? Will it be a failure?
Mm-hmm.
One, I'm not qualified enough to say will it be successful or not. And second, it's too soon, to whether it will make business sense or not. From an education point of view, it's a
Yeah.
great welcome, thing that they are doing. The Indian education system will only get enriched by these big universities coming and setting up their campuses.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk about success or failure, but would
Mm.
it be able to give the same exposure? Maybe someone who would be going to Australia and studying there and then, studying in a foreign campus in India, will it be the same for a student?
See, the thing is that we are comparing with apples and oranges here. This is in India. The
Mm-hmm.
outside of the campus is India,
Mm-hmm.
and if a university kind of operates, even if it is a foreign university, they will still operate under the Indian nuances, laws, culture, and everything. So yes, it will be a very different experience to, I hope that it is a different experience to other Indian universities,
Mm-hmm.
but will it have the same experience as a foreign campus? I doubt, because that is in Australia. The culture is different. The climate is different. The culture is different. The people are different.
Mm-hmm.
So um, so I think the comparison has to be that, will it give a world-class learning experience?
Mm-hmm.
That I am pretty confident that these universities, wherever they go,
Mm-hmm.
Southampton and Liverpool, that kind of universities, whoever are opening, you know, they will definitely make sure that the learning experience remains world-class.
So we've spoken about the courses, Aritra. I mean, the popular courses that will be quite relevant for the next decade. Would you also like to talk about some of the jobs that, students need to look at, which maybe
Yeah,
would remain relevant for the next decade?
sure. I think automotive, um, industrial process control, mechatronics, AI, data analytics, cybersecurity, these kind of jobs. And then on the business front, sustainability is going to be very, very big in the coming years. So if there are people who are working on sustainability, that will be good. Business with sustainability, I'm saying supply chain is, the world is a global village. So supply chain will be a quite an interesting part. And because of interdisciplinary, a kind of this thing, project management will kind of become very, very important. Um, so all these jobs will be there.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing is that, I just want to say something that, and which may be an unpopular opinion, but
Mm-hmm.
skill is always is irreplaceable.
Right.
If you're skillful, if you're skilled at whatever you're doing, if you're
Yeah.
good at what you do,
Mm-hmm.
then there are few chances of you having or you not being successful, So skill is a very, very important factor here. And that is why I think that students should choose at programs that they are going to do good. That's the first and the last thing that I'll say. And then only there's jobs and everything. Everything is like a domino, right?
Yeah.
Everything is interlinked. So skill is going to be a very, very, it's a decade of skill. Skill is a very, very important thing in this one, a part of in this world right now.
Right. So, Aritra, this brings me to the end of the segment, but not to the end of
Okay.
the episode. We have
Okay.
a very interesting segment, upcoming segment, which is the rapid
Okay.
fire round. You know what a rapid
Okay.
fire round is?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
asking
answer
you
it
all your
quickly.
questions. Yes, all your
It's like
questions and
cough.
whatever first comes to your mind, you need to respond with that. Yeah?
As long as it is not like coffee with Karan. I'm just kidding.
No. Some intelligent questions here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
All
shall
right.
we start?
Yeah. Yeah. Please.
Okay. Rank in order of importance: skills, degree, network.
Skills, network, degree.
Okay. One education trend you are excited about.
Intertransferable, kind of interdisciplinary kind of things, interdisciplinary programs or courses. Yeah.
Got it. One subject you hated in school.
Chemistry.
Chemistry. Okay. University you admire for innovation.
Actually, RMIT, we work with them, but they've done some absolutely fantastic work, and I can send you some links that they've recently done.
Mhm.
Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology.
Wow. Okay. One mistake students should avoid while applying abroad.
Looking at immigration policies and then deciding your entire life.
Got it. Visa or funding, bigger student stress.
None.
None. And what's
None.
the biggest stress?
It's like fix your thing. Like because see the thing is that funding, so
Mhm.
whatever you can arrange, then choose, they kind of have your realistic expectation, like don't go to, oh, I want to go to INSEAD, but I've got 15 lakhs. Come on, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And visas, don't do something shoddy. You'll get your visa. They want to give you the visa. Okay. So don't do something which is stupid and shoddy. So
Mhm.
I would say none.
Okay.
It should not be a challenge for you.
If not education, what field would you be in?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Books or podcasts?
Books.
One book you would like to recommend? Maybe for
Homo
budding
sapiens.
entrepreneurs. Homo
Budding
sapiens.
entrepreneur,
Yeah.
budding entrepreneurs. I don't know. There's all these self-help books which I'm not a big fan of, but I'll say read some classics. Oscar Wilde, that kind. But Atomic Habits, maybe. I've not read fully, but I've heard, I've read a bit of that. But yeah, Homo sapiens for everything in
I
life.
also like that book. Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually
yeah,
having
yeah,
here somewhere.
yeah.
Okay. Startup or stable job? What would you choose
Stable,
today?
stable startup.
Stable startup. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. One advice to 18-year-old students right now. We
have
have
fun.
given so many advices.
Yeah, yeah, have fun. Don't take your life so seriously because life is only going to get serious after this. Have
Mhm.
fun, but try to get skilled. That's my only thing is that whatever you are doing, do good. Be good at whatever you are doing and whatever you like to do.
This brings me to the end of the episode, Aritra, and thank
Okay,
you so much for all those
no
insightful
problem.
advices because it was a super fun episode. I wasn't really
Oh,
stressed at all. So
yeah,
thank
it's
you so
fine.
much for all those insightful tips and advices that you have given so far. Thank you so
No
much.
problem. Thank you very much, Anisha, for having me. And I wish you all the best with your series. And I look forward to seeing this whenever it is out and ready. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And for all my
Thanks.
viewers, this is your host Anvesha signing off from TEDucate, where we decode education, careers, and everything in between. Thank you so much, Aritra.
Thank you. Take care.